Hi, my name is Marco and welcome to the Model G. Today, I'm going to be discussing some of the best and worst covers from February 2023. Let's kick things off with a strong showing from Vogue Thailand. This portrait feels like a modern interpretation of a Renaissance oil painting, down to the blur of her hair and clothes, to the faded colors as if the paint had oxidized over time. The only thing that I'm not loving is the text that says a decade, as it seems to be an overt attempt to feel funky and young, but beyond that, I think it's a beautiful cover. Now, if we compare that to Vogue Japan, there is a significant drop in quality. Vogue Japan loves putting the D-list children of American celebrities on their covers. Here we have Jude Law's daughter, Iris. Everything screams cheap and low budget, but it is a great example of how many decision makers in the fashion industry have no regard for the art of photography. All they care about is clicks and online engagement. And the easiest way to do that is to put some type of quasi-celebrity in the magazine. Vogue Taiwan is also having a great month with this cover, which highlights traditional expression without compromising a modern vision. The composition is beautiful, and the black gown really cuts through the visual feast surrounding her. I doubt the reference was intentional, but when I saw this photograph, I immediately thought of this 1979 photograph of Diana Vreeland at her apartment by Jonathan Becker. Vogue Taiwan, you are my favorite cover of the month. Harper's Bazaar China fails where Vogue Taiwan succeeded because in this image, there is absolutely no visual hierarchy. The styling, hair and makeup, and the model all look nice, but the subject gets lost in the mess of colors. Your eye is not being guided around the image, instead, it is just overwhelming to look at. American Vogue this month? Basic, predictable, uninspired. Florence Pugh looks dead in the eyes without a stronger key light, her hunched body position is making wrinkles all over her dress, and the pomegranate on the counter is one of those silly prop additions to a scene that a more confident photographer would have known to leave out. Vogue Arabia has Huda from Huda Beauty on their cover, my least favorite of the month. The concept, prop design, and styling all had potential, but the final result is just so wrong. Everything is muddled. It looks like a Gaussian blur teamed up with the Facetune app to create their own AI image generator. If you want to see what this concept looks like when it is executed properly, look at this May 2022 cover of Vogue Singapore. Vogue Portugal is a great example of how a cover can effectively deliver the thesis of that issue. For the innocence issue, every element of the photograph is working to reinforce that mood. Even if we do not see the model's eyes, you can feel the purity in her expression, and the movement in the ribbons of the garment make it look like she is walking through a dreamscape. We have a great use of negative space, a play in the proportions of the garment to keep the eye interested, all in all a great cover from Vogue Portugal. On a more somber note, the February cover of Vogue Italia was a tribute to the late Tatjana Patitz, who passed away in January. Tatjana was one of the models from Peter Lindbergh's iconic British Vogue cover that is considered the birth of the supermodel, and they worked together frequently throughout their careers, including the October 2016 cover of Vogue Italia. This cover was a beautiful way to honor two people who had such a great impact on the fashion industry. The image itself is a testament to the timeless beauty of Peter's work, and although he passed away in 2019, his impact on photography will never be forgotten. If I didn't know any better, I would have guessed that this cover of Priyanka Chopra was from American Vogue, but it is surprisingly from British Vogue. I'm not sure if it's because Edward Enninful is auditioning to replace Anna Wintour, and he wants to assure Condé Nast that he can churn out boring celebrity covers, but I'm going to pretend that I didn't see this and hope that next month is stronger from him. Be sure to subscribe to find out who comes out on top next month in the Battle of the Covers.